Hello, beautiful souls. Hello, hello. This is Reshma Yeshura of the Lighthouse 333. It is another episode for the Galactic Queen Talks podcast, and it's actually an 11:11 reading. I'm trying to knock everything down with one stone, I guess. Yes. So here we go. The 11:11 portal is a beautiful time of energy release onto the planet. It is a beautiful gateway opening for many of us awakened souls who are just looking for more answers, more connection to our higher self and our galactic family or our earthly family, our soul family. We are just looking for our answers. We are being led onto the path that we should be on. We are being helped, we are being guided. And one of the things that I love to do during this time is pull some oracle cards. And uh, I don't know if you've been feeling the pull like I have recently, just being gathered and pulled and focus on the divine feminine, hence the beautiful background that I have here. The divine feminine is really being called into action, and I believe this 11:11 portal is just helping us so much, so beautifully, so gently, and also not just gently, but uh it could be a little rough for some, the big types of changes that the divine feminine is going to be going through. So I have this deck called the Ascension cards by Diana Cooper. I have a lot of decks from her. I really love her cards. The Ascension cards are mainly for ascension, what is needed for the ascension of the collective is my question. And the card that comes up is the Kuan Yin card. So I'll read it, and it's number 43, which is 7, a beautiful magical number. Kuan Yin is the master of the 12th ray of unconditional love. She radiates a vibrant, cerise pink light. And oh my gosh, I think that's the color in the background. I'm not really sure what Cerise Pink is, but it has to be one of those colors. Um, it's a vibrant Cerise Pink light of divine feminine energy, love, and compassion. Kuan Yin is re-empowering women everywhere and bringing forward divine feminine wisdom in men. She is inviting you to develop your divine feminine qualities, including your healing abilities. Find ways to nurture and empower others and yourself. Give yourself permission to go with the flow and share with everyone for the highest good. This will subtly affect your stellar gateway chakra and build your uh, this word I never know how to say it. Antakarana, Antakarana bridge to source. So there's an affirmation with this card. It's I act from my divine feminine wisdom. We're all being called to connect with the Kuan Yin energy, her divine feminine, her unconditional love. Um, this love and compassion and understanding of going with the flow and coming into your healing abilities and using your healing abilities, empowering yourself and others. Um, a lot of my healing work that I do actually helps accelerate uh, others into their healing abilities if they don't know what it is, if it hasn't come online yet. So I just had to put that on there. A lot of the new healers that are waking up to their abilities, they are awakening new earth healing modalities, which will help awaken a lot of others when they receive their healing. And the divine feminine with the divine masculine, let's touch on that for just a second. All men and women share both energies of divine feminine and divine masculine. And it has to be a harmonized and a balanced energy. And most of us have been in an unbalanced life, especially the men as well. Not being allowed to express emotion, not being allowed to feel, not being allowed to express any type of intuition, um, and go with the flow energy. It's always like go, 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 work, 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 create structure and just create, whatever it is that the men decide to do with their life, their productive work that they decide to do. They don't ever take time to stop and do inward work, which a lot of times men just go to the TV and relax, right? We all know that. Um, and men are starting to awaken to the fact that they need to take time out in nature. They need to take time out to connect with their family, with their own feelings and any tragedies that they experience in their past, that's all coming up now for them to clear. Also, a lot of divine feminine men, I have nothing against anyone's sexuality, if they're gay, straight, whatever, but there's a lot of men who assume that they are gay because they had so much divine feminine energy at a very young age, and that could be because they were still attached to their past lives, and their past lives as women created an imbalance and kept the memory and the energy of that divine feminine in them. And they're not necessarily like a gay person right now. They're just acting out what they think they're supposed to be because they carry such divine feminine attributes, um, of emotional sensitivity. They're probably healers themselves. They're very awakened, things like that. Um, they could just be needing to be balanced and get more clearing and receive more of their masculine energy. There is a lot. Uh, every person is a different situation or experience. So I'm not speaking for just one group of people. I'm just giving an example that there are certain experiences where someone just chooses to be a sexuality because of an imbalance of the divine masculine or divine feminine energies. So the other cards that I pulled is from the Starseed Oracle deck by Rebecca Campbell. I still use these cards today. I really love these cards because I just love the practicality. I love how good they are to me, like with their messages. So, um, I always do the Soul Whisper for the collective, and two cards came out for the Soul Whisper. That is what the soul is whispering to the collective. So loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So there's a lot of collective uh, who are dealing with this addiction, coping mechanisms, and unable to let go, holding on to density, and not able to allow God in, the divine in. And then the next card is the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So 11/11 was actually on Tuesday, which is a Mars energy day. Um, so that was really amazing that that card came up. I actually did pull these cards on 11/11, but the time just ran out and I couldn't make up my mind how I wanted to provide the reading to everyone. So I decided on this. Um, and so after I pull the Soul Whisper cards for the collective, I pull a grounding card, a grounding action card. But two cards came up and they look very similar, right? The first card was the Seven Star Sisters, which is the the Pleiadian sisters, the sisters that are in the Pleiades, which I am actually carrying this energy as Pleiadian Queen Mother. And this portal is very much pulling in the Pleiadian energies. The Pleiadians are working with us through this portal. And it's very interesting. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is now the time when the Pleiades aligns more with the Northern Hemisphere. You can see them in the sky more, and they're always twinkling for me. They're always communicating with me. I love it. Um, so this card is Birth and Creation's Tapestry of Life and Expression. And the other card is Perspective. If you can't see from here, I don't know why my Zoom, to me it looks very blurry. Maybe when I'm done, it's gonna look better, but it's looking blurry to me. It says, none of this matters. Zoom out and find common ground. Okay, so it's a lot for me to go through, but I'm trying to go through it as smoothly and fast for everyone. Okay, so loosen your grip. The coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. This is the soul whisper to the collective. We are cyclic beings, and Mother Earth teaches us how to be human beings every day with the coming and going of the tides and the seasons. If you're clinging to anything, you're resisting the natural flow of who you are. The things we cling to are so often those we need to let go of: the food, the substances, the relationships, the job, the people pleasing. The things we cling to often cover up our most vulnerable space and the part we're most afraid to leave empty, the part we guard and don't let grace into. But by keeping that space covered with something that doesn't serve us, like the drugs, the alcohol, the food, the people pleasing, right? Um, we're clinging to it out of fear of it not staying of its own accord. We prevent ourselves from receiving the things that we want. There's a course in miracles. It tells us that whatever we leave empty, grace will fill. And the Buddha said, you can only lose what you cling to. So these are both true. So you have to be aware and start analyzing some of the things that you're doing in your day-to-day life. If this card appears, you're being called to find the courage to loosen your grip and give up control, to release your coping mechanisms, and to leave space for grace and God to enter, to surrender all that feels dense to the divine. Loosen your grip doesn't mean that what you cling to will go away. It may or it may stay, but you can be sure that what is for you will find you, and you'll breathe easier knowing that you've shifted from relying on your own strength to surrendering to the grace of life. So there is an inquiry here with this card. The question, this is a great journaling session for this 1111 portal. The question here is, what are you clinging to for fear of nothing to take its place? Meaning you don't think anything good is going to come, even if you let go of this thing. Like you have to be in control and you have to do this thing. There's a fear. There's something that you're blocking from being healed. There's something that you're blocking to receive. So, what's your coping mechanism? All right. So the next Soul Whisper card, the Great Severing. This is what the soul is trying to get. The collective needs to hear this. The whisper of the soul. These are the things that matter most right now that need to be taken care of. Where can I find it? It's a T or is it G? I think it's G. Okay, here we go. The Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, Softening to love. All right. This is a shadow card. One that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. Another card explaining love and God needs to come in. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it's important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We're all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long, we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. And here's another journal entry question for you to discover. How are you cutting yourself off from love? How can you soften toward those who have hurt you? So we go from coping mechanisms and what we're trying to control to block healing and not allowing us to feel grace, to learning to forgive, learning to let go of that pain that we're holding on to, and keeping that pain and keeping ourselves living in a negative situation where it's not negative, but because we carry the negativity, we inflict the negative on other people, thus keeping the cycle of negativity going. And that's what we're seeing on a macroscopic scene when you look out into the world, looking at the news, if it's real, the news, social media, whatever is happening out there, we're seeing a lot of negativity. We're seeing a lot of painful things of people fighting people just so unhappy with another person because of their beliefs and blah, blah, blah. Whatever is happening out there that's so negative that makes you think that this earth is not a loving place. It's inside, it's the collective going through this need for healing. You're seeing it on the big screen outside in the world. Collectively, all human beings need to take time and take care of themselves. That's why the awakening is so important, to awaken to the fact that everyone needs healing, that everyone is love and everyone deserves love and everyone should be treated with kind, loving tenderness. Everyone is one and everyone is here together for the same purpose of experiencing love. And because of our past, we are blocked from that belief and understanding. And because of our past and because of the collective keeping that reality going by not healing, you know, um, that's what keeps the reality going for you, that, hey, there's a lot of bad people out there. And I don't ever think I'm going to find love. I don't ever think I'm going to be treated well by anyone, things like that. So the divine feminine is coming from a very wounded place. And the divine feminine is asking and seeking you to wake up and do your healing work and remember that you're not alone and that it's totally supported by the universe right now. And I know for a fact because I've done a lot of healing for the collective divine feminine, divine masculine. So this reading is just so beautiful and wonderful for the collective. And I really hope you share this message, you listen to this message, learn from it, journal, work on yourself, reach out to whoever you reach out to for your spiritual guidance. If not, you can reach out to me. But share this message, please. This message has to go out to all the divine feminine out there. So the grounded actions required for you, collective, the 7 star sisters, birthing creation, tapestry of life, expression. There are new creations that want to be born, beauty that's yearning to be woven, new consciousness that's longing to be breathed into life. If you draw this card, you're being called to surrender to the creations, to usher, to surrender to these creations, to usher in a new era of consciousness and do your bit in weaving the web of life. This is a card of the artist and the midwife. You're being called to ponder questions. What wants to be birthed through you? What new creations are whispering in your ear? What beauty are you being called to make? Creativity and intuition come from the same sacred space. They occur when we find ourselves flowing with the rest of life. Earth is renowned as a planet of manifestation and creativity, and yet so many of us have forgotten how to create. Somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing ourselves as artists, as creatives, as poets. Yet, to be human is to be creative. Creativity is part of your true nature. Perhaps you're being called to surrender to a creative project, such as a new business or a book, or perhaps you're being called to weave beauty in your home or in the way you cook. Regardless of the end result, you're being called to express yourself through your creativity, to surrender to the creative projects that both scare you and excite you, to find a way to weave beauty back into everyday life, for where there's creativity, spirit and soul is present. And the world needs those qualities now more than ever before. And there is a question with this card. What new creations are being called to birth? So, we're here to remember that we're creative humans. We're here to create. The only way to really tap into what we're here to create is to let go, heal, forgive ourselves, and forgive others. Allow the divine feminine space to live in you and awaken in you parts of you that have been closed off for so long. And all that you've been seeking will come to you. Why are you here? What is your purpose of being here? You don't want to be stuck in the job. You don't want to be doing whatever it is that you're doing. There's something else that you want to do, but you can't figure it out. It's because you have these blocks that need to be cleared, and allow the divine feminine in to flow through you, whole body, and all of your chakras and all of your energy fields, and just allow you to be you and flow with your own energy. And you will find the answers. You will be given the answers. They will flow through you. What wants to flow out of you? What wants to be created? Besides everything else, New Earth is being created, and you're helping New Earth be created with your everyday actions of being in your best, highest and best, with your divine feminine and your divine masculine in balance and in love. So perspective, the last card of a grounded action. So it says, none of this matters. Zoom out. Find common ground. That's Earth, all the way over there, that little dot. Take a step back and look at the bigger picture of your life. Step away from the blinkered vision and reactive frame of mind of me against them. Change your perspective, shift your point of view, and zoom out, out, out. We're, sorry, we are but a speck of dust in the unknown universe, yet we think everything revolves around us. We see the planet as ours to own and conquer, pillaging the land and setting ourselves up for our eventual extinction. We build fences and walls and create invisible borders. Mother Earth does not need us to survive, but we need her. It's time to wake up. A new perspective is urgently needed. We became so lost in our individual experience that we don't realize that most of the things that keep us awake at night are actually distractions. We're wasting our precious time and resources fighting each other when we should be coming together to heal what's been severed. This moment is a breath in a timeline of your life. This life is a fleeting moment in the tapestry of your soul's experience. Your soul's experience is a flash in a timeline of the unknown universe, and the known universe is a grain of sand in the unknown universe. Take a moment to see the bigger picture, to find common ground, and find deep compassion in your heart to gain a greater perspective of humanity in this fleeting moment, in this timeline of your soul's existence, in the timeline of all that is, was, and ever will be. Very deep stuff. Your soul inquiry here is, how are you being called to change your perspective? So, my beautiful souls, that is the call for the collective. That is the message for the collective for this 1111 portal. The divine feminine energies have been rising and are rising within you. If you haven't tapped into that, if you haven't gone through your full awakening yet, if you're still struggling with what steps you need to take, please reach out. This is massive. I mean, beautiful, beautiful reading for the collective. And it's so reassuring that we are on the right track, that we are supported and great things are to come. But we have to let go of the past. The past is over. I love you. I love you. And I hope that you subscribe, like, share. Please share this. Please comment. Please reach out if you need to. Um, that's all that I have for you. Have a wonderful rest of your days until I meet you again.